when you think about the N word, it kind of has the same rule as gang banging. This is just my opinion. This is the way I look at it. When it comes to gang banging, Bloods and Crips, GDs, and all that stuff like that, the only way people really consider you an affiliate, you have to go to the motherland and put your feet on the soil, or you had to been in, like, grew up around this environment to be put down and be considered one of the gang members you identify with. You can't just up and be a person who moved from Alabama to LA on Slauson, Crenshaw, wherever, and just say that you are now a rolling 60 Crip because you've been staying here for at least 3, 4 years. That's gonna get you hurt. So when you walk outside your door and you decide you want to pull out your blue flag and go into a store on Slauson, somebody asks you, hey, where you from? What set you from? And you decide to call out a set, and when you get checked for that, it's major consequences. Who fault is that? Because you false flagging, you flogging. So to me, when it comes to this N word, I be having mixed emotions sometimes as far as how I feel about it. And I'm from the South, I'm from Mississippi, born and raised. My mom is black, my dad is black. Granted, I have white people in my family because I got relatives who were interracial when they were young. So I got older cousins who are older than me who are half white, half black. Do they come around and they say the N word? No. One of my oldest relatives never heard him say that word ever in his life. Now, I got people who I went to school with, people who came from other areas and moved to Mississippi, moved to the hood. And they were there for like 4, 5, 6 years. Some of them still, linger around from time to time. Half white, half black. Do they say the N word? Yeah. Do we consider it to be an issue? No. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I think the respect that that word get based on people who died behind it, blood, sweat, slavery, all these things that play a role, that's why I say, to me, it's kind of like gang bang. You got people who died for them colors. Same rules apply when it comes to the N word. If you know somebody, if you got an ancestor who was a slave, if you grew up in certain areas where, if you, like where I'm from, it's still somewhat segregated. So if you from the South, if you from Mississippi, you from Louisiana, you from Alabama, it's certain places in the South that still, like, whites and blacks ain't coercing, ain't being quadrant, ain't talking, ain't running no conversations with each other. They stand on one side and black people stand on the other. Even in my hometown where I'm originally from, it's a lot of white people there. Some you see, some you don't. The ones that you don't see, those are the ones that pretty much probably own most of the land, most of the property. They got a lot of crop, a lot of corn, a lot of cows. But you ain't gonna see their kids, you ain't gonna see their wives, none of their family for the most part. It's a certain way that they move during the day and during the nighttime where they make sure, like, because we got one grocery store in my hometown, one. You hardly ever go in there and you're gonna see a bunch of white people and a bunch of black people in there at the same time. I don't know how they time it out, how they map it out, but they got it so perfect to where they do not bump into each other. We got one grocery store, one. So I said all that to say, man, just thinking about everybody and how much controversy over the internet this word has been causing, and just hearing people talk about Mexican OT and his interview and what he said, depending on where you from, man, you do somewhat get a pass. I'll be real. Is it right? No, it ain't right. Because like I say, if you're looking at it like you look at gangbanging and how serious people is about that, and how you can what if black people walked around and treated the N word the same way people, when it comes to morals and principles for whatever else they stand for? It's like the Muslims. Like, you got religions and other countries and stuff where people don't play these type of games the way people just walk around and just anybody can say the N word. That is, I sometimes I don't really even know how I feel, because if you want to be like politically correct, if that's the right term to use, then in today's society, to keep down confusion, mm, it is what it is. That's to just, keep down confusion and try to justify why it is what it is. But if you a person who really just like to call a spade, or you don't take no bullshit, then to hear people say that and think that it's supposed to be no consequences, or you just hear people like Mexican OT look around like, okay, it's somebody in here. Okay, what you gonna do about it? Just like South Walker said, you know who to pull that around and who not to pull that around. Just point blank, period. Because every black person ain't going. The older generation of black people, it's just this young generation who consider it to be okay. But you got an older generation, like I say from 40 and up, they ain't going. And even me being in my 30s, depending on, the way that it's used or how I feel about you, like if I don't know you like that, it's gonna rub me wrong. And even if I do know you, it's like, mm, it's never gonna, it's not a comfortable feeling that I get. I'm never relaxed. I never, that's just me. That's just my opinion. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. If you stay to the end, hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below, hit the like button, share, all that good stuff. It's T-RaeTv. I tried to make it make sense. It really, it's a lot of things that you could say. And I promise you, just for content purposes and for this video going on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, it's more just to ask the audience how they feel. Because if I was just really speak how I feel, I'd probably go against a couple community guidelines. That's all.